Okay, so my chosen series is called the Sustainable Tourism. The first part I'm going to introduce is called the definition of sustainable tourism. Sustainable tourism, one that establishes a suitable balance between the environmental, economic, and social-cultural aspects of tourism development. It plays an important role in conserving the biodiversity. It attempts to minimize its impact on the environment and the local culture so that it will be available for the future generations while contributing to generate income, employment, and conservation of local ecosystems. By doing so, sustainable tourism maximizes the positive contribution of tourism to biodiversity conservation and thus to poverty reduction and the achievement of common goals towards sustainable development. Sustainable tourism provides crucial economic incentives for habitat protection. Revenues from visitor spending are often challenged back into the natural conservation or capacity building programs for local communities to manage protected area. In addition, tourism can be a key vehicle in raising awareness and fostering positive behavior change for biodiversity conservations. Among the millions of people traveling the globe every year. However, sustainable tourism is not simple like that. It includes lots of elements such as responsible tourism, ecotourism, voluntourism, and geotourism. All of them stands for contributing to the sustainable tourism and making our planet a better place to live. To make this teaching material more clear, I'm going to simply introduce each type of sustainable tourism to you. So the first one is called responsible tourism. The responsible tourism is like sustainable tourism, but as often the word sustainability is often overused and misunderstood. Responsible tourism has been adapted by the whole industry as a term. The responsible tourism is tourism which minimizes negative social, economic, and environmental impacts. It generates greater economic benefits and life for local people. It improves working conditions and access to the industry. It involves local people in decisions that affect their lives and life chances. It makes positive contributions to the conservation of natural and cultural heritage, embracing diversity, provides more enjoyable experience for tourists through more meaningful connections with local people and a greater understanding of local cultural, social, and environmental issues. It provides access for physical challenged people. It is also culturally sensitive, encourages respect between tourists and hosts, and builds local pride and confidence. And the second type of sustainable tourism is called voluntourism. It is a form of travel where one volunteer on project which give back to the community. The third type of sustainable tourism is called the geotourism. So the geotourism is very similar to the sustainable tourism and is a definition brought about by National Geographic travelers. It is the concept of geotourism is very similar to the sustainable tourism, but they usually focus on the sense of place in an area rather than the industry's efforts. And the fourth type of sustainable tourism is called the ecotourism. The ecotourism is environmentally responsible travel and visitation to relatively undisturbed natural areas in order to enjoy, study, and appreciate nature that promotes conservation, has low visitor impacts, and provides for beneficially active socio-economic involvement of local populations. Right now, you are having a brief idea about what is the sustainable tourism. And everything, of course, everything is not perfect. It does have some pros and cons. So the sustainable tourism in general stands for reforming and educate the overall industry. It helps to reduce environmental damage of the destination. And with the ecotourism, it provides a win-win situation between tourists and local people. And it has some disadvantages, such as it's delivering the fraud or marketing gimmick to the industry, because the sustainable tourism usually has no clear definitions. So travel companies might use this term to cheat their customers. And also, it is a barrier of exploitation of wildlife. So people can't reach some sensitive place, and thus the wildlife can't be seen. Moving on to the next part, I'm going to introduce and explain why we should travel responsibly. Here are some useful data for you guys to learn. In 1958, we have about 25 million tourists in the world. In 1972, the tourist number increased to 183 million. Today, we have over 1 billion tourists in the world. And since the environment, local culture, and unique experience of the destination are very unique, we have to protect them. The average hotel room uses 1,800 liters water per day, and by 2050, climate changing can lead the extinction of at least 30% of species, 90% of coral reefs, and almost half of Amazon rainforest. And here's a little activity I can do to make my teaching video more clear. So here's a piece of paper, and imagine that this paper is a destination of the famous tourist destination. And for example, if the tourists threw lots of plastic bottles and plastic bags, over time we lost a big part of the soil. And if we abuse the animals, it caused the extinction of the species. We lost them. And if we don't show the respect to the local cultures, we lost the local culture over time. And I explained before, like in the luxury hotels, we waste waters a lot. So over time, the water issue will be showed in such destinations. And as we can see, if we don't travel responsibly and take some useful measures, over time, nothing will be left in this destination, and our future generations will not be available to see them. By now, you guys should be able to understand the importance of sustainable tourism and what we could do to contribute to the industry. I have some useful tips for you guys. So the first one is reducing the plastic waste by purchasing less bottled waters or beverages, and bring your own bags when you travel. And the second one is stop abusing wild animals. For example, we can help wildlife by refusing to ride elephants. So it can't stop it immediately by doing so, but it will have a positive influence on the package of travel companies. And third one is companies should hire more local employees. In this case, they can directly contribute to the local economy and environment. And number 4, respect local culture. And we should, so in some place, people are living more naturally, and they are not well educated. So some people will dress and act differently. But it is our purpose to visit them and learn different cultures, so we should respect them. And number 5, save more water. For example, if you travel to some countries where water is an issue, you should take less time to take shower and save more water for them. Number 6, is my final tip. You should try to introduce some sustainable travel companies for your friend and influence more people around you. This way we can help the whole industry and make our planet more beautiful. Thank you guys for listening.